Hey there, this is the Zoo Man coming at you again. And today I want to talk to you about something that actually I found a little bit irritating. I was in my truck and I was listening to the radio and I listened to a guy named Glenn Beck. And I thought, who is this Glenn Beck? And as I was listening, he brought up a guy, Elon Musk, and he said Elon Musk mentioned there was a breakdown in the family. And he said that, he was praising this Elon Musk as this genius of some sort because he said this breakdown in the family was occurring. And, he was just praising this guy from, here to forever. And I was like, I don't know, why this Glenn Beck character was praising Elon Musk so much. I mean, I know Elon Musk is kind of a brilliant guy. He's rich, blah, blah, blah. But where's he been? I mean, let's get one thing straight. I mean, I know I don't have this great outreach. I'm really kind of a nobody. But, I mean, back in the 90s, I was preaching this in my church. There's been a breakdown in the family for a long, long, long time. Probably, when I was preaching this in the 90s in my Sunday school class, Elon Musk was probably somewhere between diapers and puberty. So, now that Elon Musk is preaching this, what? There's a breakdown in the family? No, this has been going on for a long, long time. Not only that, part of what I put together in the 90s was a comprehensive lecture, not only showing a breakdown in the family, but also a breakdown in population growth. So, and what prompted me to do this was part of my heritage, being Italian and Irish, was the country of Italy back in the 90s reached zero population. For those of you who don't know that, zero population is when, just really what it says is your population is not growing anymore. And that means that your family is basically, you're not procreating enough children for future generations in that country for that country to grow its population beyond what its current population is today. So this in the 90s for the country of Italy, back then was pretty much what the population is now, about 60 million people. And for most countries, the population, the zero population is about roughly 2.0 children per family. Now, you can mess with that data a little bit, 2.02, 1.98, but generally speaking, it's about 2 kids per family. So what I did was I extrapolated that data and I went through a lot of countries, a lot of ethnicities, and for simplicity reasons, part of my lecture, my presentation back in the 90s was I did it for most of the church in smaller groups was I also, let me back up a little bit, I worked for a major school district back then too, and what I saw in the school district was I didn't like what was going on in what they were teaching our kids. And so what I did was I took the two things, the population and what was being taught to our children, and I said, we really got to do something about this. And so I put together this presentation, and basically I said, what we have to do in this country is, and also didn't like the politics. So I said, if we need to get ahead of this as Christians, because if we as Christians want to see our lifestyle and our core values be established in coming generations, we need to make sacrifices now for the future. And we need to have our families have 3 to 5 children in our families now, because in 20, 30, 50 years from now, each of those kids need to grow and have 3 to 5 kids of their own. Hoping that if we continue in this formula, that Christians will grow exponentially in the coming generations, in the coming decades. And what I said was, those children, as parents, we need to have those kids go into 3 fields or more, but the 3 fields being education, and back then I said law enforcement and the study of law, attorneys. And those were the 3 fields that I recommended. And then 4th would be professions, medicine, engineering. But the 3 were that I recommended, first and foremost, were education, law enforcement, and the practice of law. And when I went to my pastor and I said, this is what I want to do, not only in this church, but I want to go and preach it throughout all the churches in Chicagoland. That's where my family and I lived at the time. He was like, no, you can't do this. I understand where you're going with this, but, please, Buck, you can't do this. It's just, it's too aggressive, But I did, present the presentation to several Sunday school groups, and but the crux of this is something that's been talked about way back in the 90s, not only by me, but many, many people within the church. So Glenn Beck, please, this is not, current news, current events. This is something that's been discussed, 3 decades ago, my friend. Anyway, this is the Zoo Man. Let me know your comments, and please spread the word. I need the views. I need the subscribers and the views. That's it for today.